Hi, my name is Ezra Nucci-Nemeth. This is my poster presentation for Chapter 7 of my Intro to Psychology, Section 180-60. My main idea for this is classical conditioning is a way that is common for learning. And then classical conditioning is the title. My intro is that Ivan Pavlov discovered classical conditioning through dogs. He discovered this condition through experimenting on dogs using food and seeing that the dog would salivate. The results was that he discovered something that explains the way that animals and humans learn and react to different stimuli in our day-to-day lives. My discussion will focus on the importance of classical conditioning and will explain how and why we learn the way that we learn. So classical conditioning is when we learn to associate two different things together, or two different stimuli. And a stimulus is an event or action that evokes a response. So Ivan Pavlov actually discovered this while working with a dog, and he noticed that the dog would salivate every time it would eat, and he got annoyed by that. But then after he realized that the dog was starting to salivate at the smell of the food, he became curious, and after the fact that the dog started to salivate, just seeing the dog food container, and then it began to salivate after seeing the person who usually brings the food, and then it even got so far as that dog would salivate when it heard the footsteps coming up the stairs or whatever to give the dog the food. So Ivan Pavlov ran an experiment, and he wanted to see, okay, well, will a dog learn or anticipate food if it hears a certain sound? Will it salivate to this certain sound without even having to smell the food or see it? And the answer is yes. He took a dog, he gave the dog food, let it smell it, and at the same time he would play a sound. And he would repeat this over and over and over until the dog started to salivate just by hearing that certain noise. Didn't have to see the food, smell the food, or see the person bring it. Just heard the noise and it would salivate. After this, Pavlov discovered 5 different conditioning processes, which is acquisition, extinction, spontaneous recovery, generalization, and discrimination. And acquisition is the learning of an association. So the initial start of an association, like you're starting to learn, ooh, a stove is hot, don't touch it. You're starting to learn. Extinction is the diminishing of a conditioned response. So gets rid of your original response to the stove being hot. You may think, oh, you can touch it, and then when you do, you learn, no, you can't. Spontaneous recovery is the reappearance of an extinguished conditioned response. Generalization is when one response occurs in a similar stimuli. So if you burn yourself on a stove, it's because it's hot. So if you feel something else hot, like a fire, you'll realize, okay, don't touch that either. Discrimination is the ability to distinguish the difference between stimuli. And then, still today, people agree that classical conditioning is a basic form of learning, and learning the reactions between how we interact with other things and how other things interact. And that's it. Thank you.